Good morning, everyone. Good. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for being here. Right now, if you guys can know my name is Cindy Murs. Yeah, it's a okay for you know, the way the world is working right now, we have to find this way. Because that's one thing it is to go out and look out the head. That's about every day. The little night of the king, you know, right there, when it's like, that's the when you have decided my next career. He said, look at this, play by the me. He looked at me. Oh, help us, you'll see. Okay. The simple thing to say. I go my next career. Especially if you pass me everything. I'm glad to get out there. How little about you? Welcome to Cancer Executive Director of the Little Fitness Expansion. But y'all know what you significant, right? They're trying. If the first seats are the best seats, and also next time, just know, come in and look for the one is the best. They'll look at it like secretaries. I'm not going to be here to see what my president. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get his 6,000 for the so we have I'm going to go get started and I'll turn it over to you. So start with the program here, ready? I'm supposed to miss. Yes, you don't believe that's important. Our families coming. New families coming in. Holding on to those that you had that are still ain't eligible. Because we need money. Pull them on money. Right? We need to work towards fully program. We got to get there as quickly as possible can and sustain. And so this year, that is one of our targets, and we will do everything we can to get it there and sustain it so that we would have an issue. And here we are that. Thank you. And so we know that it's difficult. We know that it's hard. So one of the things that we are looking with when you guys have in partners out in communities, knocking on doors, with examples, trying to get parents to the applications, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to go ahead and jump to one of the play dates that we take. We had to. And part of that was about enrollment too. We had people there ready to enroll families, and we did, and most people going to do there and get the applications done, making sure that they understood that before options were open and that they can do their application right there. Yes, have some fun, but make sure your child has this next program here. And a lot of folks are there, some days because some of them are free. And I'm talking about what we're planning for later and fall regarding that as well. So we're also prepping for back to school. Mayor Johnson will be out. As mayor and other city officials always from the start of the year. So on the 25th, he will be, and Sheree will be here. But we will get to the student side and all care site. And what we always do is try to make sure that we know what students was closely aligned with that, so that he could make it from one to the other. So that's the one that we did communicate with this year. This people live in West Elementary School, which is not far from me. So we'll be there cheering them on and making sure that the little ones understand how valuable they are. That the mayor came to say, easy peasy update. I'll sit down and because I have people want to know that since you have about it, yes, that's but there's now first. Okay, we'll talk about that. Same thing with you. If I have to talk about that. Okay, see this people see about this. We let today come back on it. She's on her phone. We understand that. Any other questions about this? Besides that, yes.
Different stuff, PFA, PFA.
Yes, okay, let's talk about how your rates are going in. You are receiving two separate things. One for EFA, which is dollars from the ECPG grant, and you're also getting a portion of that in for the East Miami Five. Remember, June of last year, we did what was called COLA, based on the mayor's $7 million. We are doing that to sustain those salaries. And that's why you're getting that. Okay, we gave you money to increase salaries and do what you needed to do. In order to sustain that, we have access to those dollars that we're getting two separate budgets. And so as you're going through working with your physical people, that's your answer. And that is helping us sustain the salary and increases that we did last year. Okay. And so we're still committed to making sure that happens. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Nothing else about ECPG? Go make one. Go on. Early childhood block grant, because we're having, there was work on our, anytime we separated, we went through downside from $100 million grant to $400 million. We have to work with all the budget management, we have to work with law, they all have to say, okay. It's a new construct of funding, and we're shut on the block grant. And then there were asked of us being the assets in June with contracts started in July. The whole north to night those agencies while they were still working for everything. Yes. And go back, you do all documentation to stand of everything, go back to the honest and what they were asking for, which then set us back in. But what I, and it just me, what I would never do is that we do something to make sure we got access to the funding. And when we are doing it, we are ready to hold on to those 19, making sure that we stand up the system so that they could have access to funding. Had we not done that, they would have lost funding for 2 months. Salaries are negotiated with that. They're that and everything they do with negotiated with that. And I don't agree with the thing like that. But whenever if there's anything that I can choose to not come, that's what I'm going to be to do. And so, yes, the line work on our work is back and forth on the 3 of everything study. But I understand it was really about keeping everybody on the low. Okay. Any other questions? Well, they're in the system. Angel and her team answering every question and standing up and trying to do the documents needed to generate contracts, and they're telling you today generate. You know, and that's being honest and transparent with you. And you be an angel, so don't that business with you. Once we get back the shipping system multiple times a day, and Angel like to live until very late at night and looking and working, and she's seeing things at 7 o'clock at night when other people are probably at home trying to work bed. But just trying to make sure that everything is done and have to prevent her. I'm going to say the whole about please give for that. Nobody's asking her to live this like that. But she cares about the work enough to do that, and to do that, and do that. And I knew that because I was feeling she put her in the machine. So she did agree with me that she wouldn't do it after midnight. She hadn't done it after midnight. She closed up. But again, our commitment is to do everything we can to get this through because we want to understand what we need on the side. Just bear with us for a little bit longer. Okay. All right. Federal update. What's happening federally? Is it fun? I want to say yes to it. We're in the midst of a new item, which is the notice of proposed rulemaking, where it's a 260-page document. In that 160-page document, the recommendation is to get rid of the Head Start performance standards, all 133 pages, and replace it with a document that's about 10 pages. You're right, right? How many of you have looked into this who have federal knowledge? How many of you are aware of what this means for you if you have federal knowledge? Please stay on top of it. There's a comment period between now and October 6th. Okay, so if you want to do, I don't know what to say, but I'm going to say this. If those rules are enacted, there's things such as you will not be able to, in your classrooms, to do any instruction in any language other than English if you're federally funded. How many of you will be impacted by that? Because of the families we serve, we can't sit back and read. Okay? How many of you have credentials saying credentials will no longer be required across many positions? And if we don't require credentials over time, you can hire people who don't have credentials, and then the federal government will do all of that money. Recoup it. So please don't let things in the court as they pass you. Okay? I can't tell you what to say, but I can tell you need to stay up to date on it. If you have a federal dollar, you need to know what it means. Most of them say if you have a state dollar, you need to know what it means. Because at the end of the day, we also had a surge in concern over child care in this program, which is state as well, right? Then it's like, are these children real? Are you really doing this work? So just because we're looking at federal right now, does not mean that's where it's going to start. And so we all need to understand that we are not working in a system where the work that your teachers are doing is being valued, or that what you do every day is being valued. But what it is being looked at that we can actually come down from all the quality that Illinois has put in place and operate without all of us. How many of you agree with that? How many agree that your families deserve it? I don't think they deserve it. I don't think families in Chicago deserve it. We worked long and hard, and some of us have radio for a reason. I know I do. I've been working at this for a long time and trying to make sure that we were offering quality programs. That we were doing everything that we can to get dollars that go out into the contract for allowing to pay low wages to people. And then we can get them to a point where their salaries are commensurate with the degree that we're asking them to have. And we want to roll over that. I don't agree with it. But I stand for the position. I was transparent when I was in the free service. My name is in the Mayor Service Rights. I can only go so. But I ask you to stay on top of it, know what it means, how it impact you, make sure that you understand that it is a current climate period between now and October 6th. And if you don't comment and it becomes act, then we will be coming in and having a totally different conversation with the project. And we really come on. Any questions? City started to play date, we had two. We're looking to have a third. And we wanted to have this on December. Just be learning. So the reason they're actually the reason we're making it, they did everything they could, but couldn't work it out. Their grants at the new facility, if you put down that whole group around, what you don't want is over 1,000 people to come in and tear it up, right? Like the argue with it. It's last time I said, how many people do you have? I said, each over 1,000, like. The talk to it, see, but right now, no one from being told this other events being enhanced, but it was added around the same time. So they did come back and say, they didn't say that, but it is not now. But we were planning to have one late September, early October. Still have to get from that when I go gradually at but we didn't have things like that. So more information to come. Once we have decided where we are, we'll be reaching out to organizations near and around that part, make sure that you participate with us, and that you're out there to read and meet the family. Any questions about that? Everybody understand what energy reliability is? Anybody not know what energy reliability is? All right, so since nobody knows, everybody knows what it is. All the teachers who are doing outcomes in the global system need to be integrated with. Because what that says is that teacher, that staff member understands how to observe that child and then how to go into that system and determine exactly where that child is going to development is at that time. If they're not in a way reliable, then the data is not what? Reliable. We're making it, as everybody should, with the produce data. One of the things that we're looking at is our outcomes data, and we're looking at our outcomes data and wanting to have that published and put it in different places. And the question is, how would we know that the data is reliable? What we found is we can't access and get integrated reliable scores in the number of data that has it by going in as the assessment because of the way the system, meaning the teaching strategies. There was some asks of my setting the agencies to actually send that information into us so that we can do what we need to do, applying our scores and talk about the number of staff, percentage of staff that are going to make money. So that people will look at our scores and trust our scores. Is that what we want? We want people to trust what you're saying is happening about your children, right? And they're not going to do that if we can't produce it. So, anybody have questions about what my team is asking for when it comes to integrating life? Yes, ma'am. But I think it did already because I had to send something for later on this report last night and I didn't have it. So I get to apologize. I can't apologize again. Okay. So I made it like now. The staff and Sheree, Sheree, but staff have already sent out the request, saying exactly what they need from you. Your education coach should be able to go in and pull that information and submit it to my team. So that we can aggregate and combine so that I can fulfill the requests of people who are saying, tell us what's going on behind the schools. Okay. Any questions about your access and your ability to get that to us? Anybody? Yes.
We could not.
You could not. Is it your access or you have to get in line? Okay. Okay. That's your radio so that you can work with people the vendor maybe. Anybody who's having problems, please see Sheree. If you need to have the vendor do something to make sure you can do that and do that. Thanks for letting us know. Anyone else? Yes.
So if teaching staff. I record my report, but a lot of the staff don't. I gave them the 45th day deadline of the clear, but we have a specific date of when teacher will have that done. That's just
Yesterday, it's based on this. Yesterday was when I needed, so I could choose for all your teachers to get it done this. Because they were looking at this data and they want this, you said, let me say this. We've had some great outcomes. The mayor wants to let people know about their great outcomes.
Right.
But the sort that wants to talk about their outcomes as well as information collected. And so we have a good city as far as who wanted to do a great outcome. And we couldn't produce it. So they are, that information needed to be out there. I mean, the parents need to be able to read it. Other people need to be able to read it. People need to know exactly what we're great for. In order for us to say the great word is happening and it's alive, I need it. So when I need you to be able to do it right.
Report itself.
There you go, but I need to report from you, the report from you will list who they are and what they had, then they finished it. If you're going in for the report, you have staff who have not finished it, and then doesn't finish it. Okay? If they're touching the gold system, they should be generated like. Any other questions? Thank you, we'll be looking for the reports, and if you need help, again, see Sheree, you can work with the vendor. And I understand the person is sick, and I go to feedback. Thanks, Steve. Yes. The more you do vehicles, the better. Today, I'm really grateful to be able to come to you. And a company we have been working since we to discuss areas of education and understanding. We know that families can be I don't know, you all know people here,
I think it was loud, we can still over the sun, where the standing and the sailors. We have some food to spare, and so we're working with Steve. The brainstorm is eat what should we say. Okay, we're gonna take it. She is the Steve Page nutrition every.
I sent a refer this morning, and I was at my mother's things, and I know that I all the other sites. So you understand how that is, trying to get from one site to the other. So, I'm so happy to be here today and talk about my favorite topic, which is WIC. Did anyone see our recent campaign with our builders, the CO passes we were driving, like the digital panels or the large billboard on our expressways? Yeah, okay. Did you guys like them? English, Spanish? Fun kids that we featured. So this first campaign that we did on WIC, and I know everybody knows what WIC is here. I often talk to groups that never had heard of our program, even though we've been around for over 50 years. And so our first campaign here really focused on our eligibles. As you know, it's really difficult for WIC to keep our 2 through 5-year-olds because they start getting active and the little toddlers have to go in, right? So there's a natural synergy between WIC and homeschool, as we know. So just because we will serve populations at critical stages of growth and development, I want to strengthen the coordination between us and you guys, because we know that children do better when they have instruction, when they have good nutrition, and they're seeing these same foods consistently and learning about them in the nutrition components of Head Start. So there's going to be app-based partnership, and I will talk about some information in which we can exchange information and find eligibles and make sure that we're maximizing benefit utilization. I know right now we're all under testing times, right? We're all dealing with very rocky waters, and we want to come together and let people know that there's an easier way to maintain your status on WIC. Next slide, please. So why this partnership matters? Well, with all of the reductions in SNAP benefits and feeling that there's less food on the table, whether that's the stability of an intergenerational family, that somebody an older adult had lost benefits, or a young person is unsure of the work requirements of the exemptions, we know that families are struggling. And also, as he alluded to, and our stores in our neighborhoods are feeling the economic factor of the loss of SNAP benefits. I mean, to lose 6 grocery stores in our neighborhoods is a huge loss. It kills you. So what we want to do is make sure that we can have food on the table. So making sure that our moms come to us earlier in their pregnancy. I can't tell you how many calls I get from the delivery room like, I'm going to eat milk tomorrow. Okay, I would like to see her in her first trimester. And so we know that our families trust us, right? We trust Head Start, we trust WIC, so it's reciprocal between us. And just making sure that we have pathways to support. Next slide, please. So I want you guys to know about a special incentive that we have because money talks to everybody. Yes. We were recipients with Lurie Children's Hospital brought access to the Greater Chicago Food Depository of the WIC Shell funding. Basically, we created the WIC West Side Alliance. Now, I'm not from the shade to north side, east side, west side. We're serving everybody, but there was a large gap that was identified on the west side. And we're going to incentivize our grant goes until December 31st of 2026. So December 31st of 2026, your organization can be trained on WIC. And you're like, oh, just another thing. No, if you're trained on WIC, we're gonna give you a stipend. So if fewer than 10 participants are trained, you'll get $500. If 10 or more participants are trained, you're gonna get $1,000. And you might be telling, I can't shut down my site. What are my people gonna be trained? I can't coordinate this. It's virtual, so that makes it even easier for you. I put a link down here, but also if you just search, you do a quick Google search for the West Islands, it will come up to register for a training. We have $10 available, so I'm not going to next one is your organization, your partner's organization. And this is nice little money for back to school supplies, extracurricular activities, some food experience. So please take advantage of this as part of this partnership that I am proposing to you. I'll leave it up here for a minute, but I would also in the back of the room after this presentation have flyers printed. And if anybody would like to know, I have a link in this building. Yeah, new information. Yeah, so there's a big link in this building, in this very building. You go down the stairs, right by the elevator, we have a suite, and we take walk-ins. So we have a small and mighty suite, but we're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're closed for lunch, but we're here to serve you. So there will be more information about this in the map. Next slide, please. Perfect. So because I got you all excited about the incentive and a little bit of money goes a long way, right? Let's start to build a partnership. So our goal is to just make this easy and routine. You're coming to EdCenter, let's talk about WIC, and guess what? We collect the same information. Height, weight, hemoglobin, right? We're talking about the same topics. And so if you identify your Head Start point person, you can connect with one of our WIC clinics. Each of our WIC clinics from CDPH has their own email address. I know we're coming into the new times, right? So like this one is WIC Keep. We also have WIC People at cityofchicago.org. We'd like you to schedule your one-on-one training and get that great incentive for the stipend provided by the Foundation for Boston. And then I will also have a copy of MOUs in the map where we can exchange information and get people excited and identify our eligible sports that may have fallen under the program. And now, because they're dealing with reduced food security in their households, can say, okay, I love my bread, but I'll eat wheat bread, right? I'll cut block cheese into little cubes for my Tyler. Or you know what? When I'm coming home and I get all these foods on WIC, I can make a black and veggie quesadilla, and my kids won't be begging for McDonald's. That's really simple. So what we are pushing in our next campaign will be WIC foods, especially if you don't have your population and what to do with them. So we're stronger together, better coordination. So my name is Carol, Director of Nutrition. I'll leave some information in the back, and I really look forward to hearing from you. Question with me? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Just one quick.
Okay.
We're not gonna start the program because are we eligible?
For the training, absolutely. Our partnership might look a little different. So her question was, she's a little visiting program. How do we work here? So you are eligible for this. Our partnership is going to be a stipend from the official Head Start education. But we still can talk. Yep.
The statement still the same.
Stipend still the same. Yes. And really the training that's provided by Learnings is to like get rid of our WIC tips, right? So if we have a blue box, we have a card, it's not cuter than the link card and our says. So just to let people know all the modifications we made to our program. I'm even going to be so
Formula. If that is an option for the group. They're not the regular, they're like, some of my. Folks will get. Guys only have maybe this, they're not, you have the formula. More about the variety of options.
Yeah, so when we were asking about our recent formula change, right? Okay, so we've been on Infomill for a long time as a program. But what happened, and just so we can translate this into community, is there's a competitive formula contest. Essentially, they go for a bid at the state, and whoever wins that bid, dollar for dollar, we get reimbursed per month for that formula being on the WIC program. So it's usually a reimbursement, it's about $5 to $6 million per month that then we put into the general WIC funds, so you can get better products for the general population. So now, because we went through the formula transition, our concept formula, so that's if you're not medically prescribed, the general formula in which you come in is now Similac. But what's cool about it in Similac, if everybody remembers WIC, you have to, we need gentleys, we switch to this, I can call in my clinic. Now, you have full choice in contract formula. Now I say, don't get the colors of the rainbow for Similac. Try one, make sure you check the colors. But if there is some issue, you do have those whole lost items to choose. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. And then so our breastfeeding package recently changed. A lot of people didn't want the breastfeeding package, the Herschel one, because they would only get one can of formula for safety and security. And, 1 can per month, that would make me nervous too. And, I was having a stressful week and I wasn't producing enough milk. But now for partial breastfeeding package, you get 4 cans of formula. So it's easier to do mixed methods and have some breast milk and then have some backup formula and not feel stressed. And what's the training need? Yep. The training would be 60 minutes. And so there's different segments online, that you can preview on YouTube. But don't get credit for that. We only get credit for the live training hosted by Megan Lucci. She was a big nutritionist previously, so she's great at sticking to it, but it's just 60 minutes and we go through WIC foods, we go through barriers to WIC, and we just bring everyone up to date with what WIC looks like today. And that's separate from like our partnership, but this is also just like a Head Start MOU. And so if you are a Head Start agency, they approved can you believe how simple this is from the, our state? Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive that we have to consolidate like this, but the training is only 16 minutes, and then if you want to take the partnership further with CPH WIC, this is an MOU on how to use it. And then they have to do one. Yes, thanks, Steve. Yeah, so we were talking with Kinsey for you, and in order to participate in this with this Head Start MOU, you have to do it by site. So even if your organization has 10 or 12 sites, and multiple big clinics could partner, if that's what happens, and you have some people from one zip code that you serve and other people from another zip code. So sign up the wants to sign on MOU, you can work with as many data as you want. But we'd like you to come to CPH WIC because we have 14 clinics across Census 7. We're the largest provider in the city.
So then the goal is it for a partnership or referral or to sign. When we have a basic practice goals, we add it to the down the doctor changes. That kind of thing.
We're willing to work with you, so we're questionable, like it's a goal referral and then push information to sign up. So because we have more staff, I know, we would like to do as much work as we can on the site. So if you find that you have 10 individuals that fell off the program, hey Sal, could you send someone over to schedule people to look over documents? You know, the morning's a crazy time, but yeah, pick up, we're gonna have more time to talk with parents one-on-one, I'll introduce you. So we want to make this unique to your setting. Maybe if you're located close to the King Center, you're like, hey, you know, I can just send 5 people over for an appointment. Okay, that works. Hey, I need somebody to, you know, an examination or referral, looking at documents. We'll do that too. In the proximity. So I understand that each MOU relationship might look different because of the locality between different. But we want to. Any other questions? Oh, thank you today. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I will pass it back. Sorry, I'll leave it in the news.
Thank you.
Thank you, here. Morning, everyone. So how many of you joined us for this? 2. Yourselves. So from our fantastic team, so first of all, what is it? This is my opportunity to show a couple of our good photos. Just a few, but our fantastic team showed the service. Maybe you know to lead, really good state and flat. We have to pay them all the time, probably right, but we absolutely want to publicly acknowledge children's services, they show up, they show out, it was a really good time. We have not, I have not read the evaluation just yet, but it's going to be bad. I appreciate you. But it's going to be good. It really is worth on. So we just wanted to, every time we have a police service event, we just take a moment just to take a beat. Just say thank you, one. If you were not able to join us, this is a really good time. If you were there with us for at least one day, thank you. If you came for all 3 days, and then you want to come for all 3 days? It was great. Normally, when we talk about, some free service, I just wanted to recap for you all. Normally, day 1 is always our most heaviest day. And then we normally trickle down significantly. So like last year, we started at like 600, and then went like to 5, and then day 3 was like 200. As you can see, people like, we're coming back. So we had 451, a total of 1,422 people joining us for free service. And we just wanted to take a moment from this fantastic children's services team. There are a few folks busy from this photo, but I want to say this is one of the largest photos we took, so I just wanted to showcase that in this slide. And I also wanted to show these photos too, they're great. So we have our leaders here. We have someone missing from that one as well, and then we have this people to bring in our commissioner into the room. So I know you guys know what free service is, but this is time again my opportunity to show you all, because most times we have events, all the time, so we have a fantastic event, this folks was here to staff too. What the curriculum staff with is drafting really high level sports, she has to report it out to our board, she has to report it out to our parent policy. So, most folks in this room know we see the narrative of the blurb that we share to those who fund us, to those who are asking questions, the mayor's office, etc. So I just in particular wanted to show you this slide, so you guys can know the fantastic things that we are showcasing, not just this one, previous one. To those that fund us, this is about how fantastic we appreciate everyone in this room was able to go. Everyone in this room sent their staff. We were really trying to be very intentional about it. But we just wanted to take a moment to just thank all of you. Did anyone in this room present for free service?
Look at, and creative, the times of the year, can we clap it up for those who are attending? The first meeting, right? So I just again wanted to just take a moment because, do we have more heavy things happening that we should be, will be, can talk about? Yes, but I also just want to applaud little things, but no, this is not a little task. But to some, it's like, okay, it's preserved. No, it was bigger than that because of our magnitude. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you, thank you, thank you. Because there's no way, so many people walking up like, we were there, you wouldn't understand. We give you a lot of rules that understand, and so many people beyond that, they were walking up and saying, your team's fantastic. I don't know that everything we had on X, Y, and Z. She was so great. Oh my God, I never seen Brandy, never needed to see Brandy. It was just so many great things people were saying about everyone, and I just want to say I thank you all for all of that. But, but I don't feel sorry for this, but pause and beyond the service. We are, and once the recognition is already, we are about to kick off a really great new program here, right? CPS starts when? It starts on Monday for K through 12. But for PFA, it starts on Tuesday. Okay, our fantastic program admin there has provided handouts for you guys that highlights really high level dates. We really need you guys to pay attention to that, even if it's not on the spot. But I want to showcase and highlight that. Because yes, in our minds, we figured that you guys should have a whole heck of a lot of questions related to what's happening together. Should have a whole heck of a lot of questions related to what's happening with the CPG. Surprisingly, we didn't have a whole lot of questions this morning. So I'm just taking a moment to just pause us to think through what you were receiving in terms of handouts at the back of the room. Those important key dates, because for those of you who are funded federally, what happens at the top of the program year, and we have to really hone in on. PIR, yes. The first, how many days? 45 days is what the book says. But as the deputy commissioner just said, we try to hone in on the first 30 days. Why? Because we get to push it. Because then if there's something that happens, you got a little quick room to say, oh, you know what? I didn't hit the 30 days. And questioning for the next 15 days, right? So yeah, the documents say 45 days, but real, I'm saying if the church be running. But honestly, you should be saying 30 days just to get things in order so that by the 45th day, they are ready. Because yes, what we have on the slide and very important today, and what we will also provide on future slides, and we will be intentional with ensuring that why key players are in this room is that we have to ensure we are compliant with everything that is required of us. I just mentioned this, but we also have compliance measures for those who are funded under these. Right? We have monthly reporting that is due at the top of every month. What does that mean? What do you report on the monthly cadence that needs to be in? Attendance, enrollment. How about your invoices? Are we invoicing invoices for them? Is it the whole time really? I said, hey, not ahead. So again, no, these things may not be necessarily on the slide. And if you're thinking anything like you are just in a moment, okay, so how are we kicking off this program here? Yes, the program year does start next week for the species. Yes, the federal program year starts in September. It typically starts after Labor Day, but this go around is starting 2015. What's the start date for federal program? Is it September 8th? September 8th?
That's really
Right? And yes, I'm just calling out things that I know that if I just a quick, look at my email, if it's one question that I got, that means most people have the same questions. You're not asking the question.
So I'm trying to call the spade on the, before I turn it back over to our deputy. But sometimes when Rick gets up here, you gotta like, you have high footage, and it's a long line in the back of the room, like, you don't wanna highlight if you have these questions, because, you know, you don't wanna say me, like, you don't know, or, you know, so that, you know, and it's why we're here, right? I'm just calling things out. What else, team, what else should we be alerting this group right now? And then again, being more intentional with the supporting throughout the program. Is there anything else can be saying? Yes.
Sheets, the data sheets that went out,
Yes.
and they're supposed to be doing attendance. And if you don't put your attendance information on the sheets, and then you guys calculate, did you have attendance? If there are no children and no attendance in, then for that particular one, I'm understanding that you didn't have attendance. Am I correct?
I mean, that's what tends to happen if you, go ahead, Megan.
The therapy was there and the blood funding source here, that is no more.
So accurate data reporting is crucial. Yes, we are still in this environment of reporting in the way that we are reporting. But guess what? That's our way right now. And we need your cooperation to make sure that if your information is incorrect, that means that we could possibly be reporting incorrect information. And you're saying we're not having any. So what the city does, they go back behind you to something that you guys are way capable of doing. That's part of the reason why they're making back there. And I'm saying, you know, we not see them. I know the city that's in the two. They're working really late. And it's not just that side that work late, because we also work late to be real. Smile really well. My eyes are twitching because I'm like, right?
We already know when we're at DFSS.
Do not believe those words. But it definitely got it.
Video.
Your candidates and speaking information, we do need you to complete it. Credentials, we want to know what the degree is and what it's in. We also want to know their gateway levels as well as the expiration date of the gateway level. And if anybody have CDAs, we need to know expiration dates as well.
So I know that we had an executive director, program directors, and many of you may not be the exact person doing what Anya has mentioned. Many of you may not be the exact people who fill out the attendance enrollment and all of that. What we are charging each of you to do is go back to your home sites, not where they live, but where they work. And please encourage, require. Require, right? Require your staff to do what is required of us, which is ensuring we are in compliance with our data. Don't worry, we will simply and never stop you. Because even though the first 30 to 45 days is a federal requirement, we also again have a requirement to be CPG, which means that we will gently and professionally require you to participate in those trainings so that we can make sure that we have those requirements. Anything else, CSB that we need to live before I turn it back over to Mr. Raver? Oh, yeah, I am.
Thinking about all those children that transition to kindergarten, those need to be archived. Those that are transitioning into other classes need to be transferred. So we are taking a look, and anybody who left the program needs to be archived as well.
Archiving, children who transition out of programs, making sure that we have all, again, data components for only enrolled children, children that rolled over from the previous program year, children who transition out to kindergarten. We have to ensure that we are complying with all of our data elements, and that includes what Lonnie is mentioning in reference to those. Archiving is for 3 years, correct? Fine.
So. He's still in school during those years.
Yes. What did you see? I mean, let me tell you why. Because there are a lot of important skills, right? So regular people, you know, our government is ensuring proper spending habits across many great states in this union, but they are really looking at key states, and Illinois is one of them. You mentioned I'm well. Illinois is one of them, right? So the many are looking for a reason to say, and then we need because he said, he didn't know, right? We have to make sure we keep what's required because at any point they can say, hey, let's go back X amount of years and fund the grade. Right? And for us, we may have to dive into previous dates when you cover. We probably would have to pull out out there. We probably would have to pull out our past and CND cares. And whatever other thing that we have, right? But that's we can do that. That also will include cooperation from you, the elements that you're having as your sites. They be not on board or not until. Anything else, Steve, before I turn it back over to Rachel? Okay.
Making sure all the screening and the go on the picture was completed. If it's not complete, assist the families with getting those results. If they don't have it or leave the program, it's in 45 days, they will send out to the IR.
In the notes. First 45 days. The health team is pushing. Because health, as we know, is an own beast. It's a beast. You know, I don't call it beast. It's a monster, one of those friendly monsters like the girl with the Palmer Children's Hospital, they got, breed monster, friendly monster. He's friendly because he's there to help, right? Help is there to help. But when things get bad, it becomes a beast. We don't want the beast. We want this good, pleasant monster known as help the state to be in compliance. But thank you, Michael, for that. What I'm generally giving you a heads up on is our next EDP will repeat a lot of what you're hearing today. So you can for real. After we take it back to pure aids, to have something hard and tangible to take back to them. But I'm giving you a heads up that, okay, yes, our EDP meetings are a great way for us to see you to ask any questions of our deputy and our leadership and our team period. But it's also an opportunity for us to charge up to do what's necessary so that we can have a fantastic program. That's what we need. Not to say any other previous program it wasn't good. I want this program is to be unlike any other. We've overcome so much. There's a lot going on. There's a lot in play, but we can sustain and we can be fantastic because I know we can. Anything else for the services? Oh. Okay.
Also, your return ratio shouldn't be their original, style. Is it different than?
The question is, I have to use one to fit for the team. With the data sheet that was provided at the back table, it says on there specifically for CDP that the program year starts on September 8th, but for any children that are already enrolled, their start date will be their original start date. Exactly what start date is that? Are you saying the original enrollment date for next year? Or what are you saying? Yes, it's the original enrollment date next year. So next year, what our system and what our sheet is defaulted to the first day of the program year. However, for a data sheet perspective, they want to know the original start date of that child because in our system on the back end, they can follow that child throughout all of our data. So they don't want you to erase in the enrollment base for those children who are going over, because it'll make it look like all of your children. You don't want all of your children to be new. We want our system to automatically update the data, because our system will do that. But on the back end, we reflect an accurate date of enrollment. So we have a child that has been there since August 2024. We need that date. Okay. Listen. Any other thing we need to live right now? To look at back, look at the team.
So you were talking about. Prisons, insurance. And you're looking at the numbers, the only reason why the numbers, the actual, find out. It was fantastic. I've been. But I have never been to one. It was really, really good, and I came off of it. But the first day I came, I was like, it's gonna be this good. And I came back the next month. Came back the next day, and I'm just saying, you all really did such a fantastic job. So he's going to tell you, thank you.
We have to appreciate the work. We have a lot of people on the scene who really care about what we look like to the public. So most times, they don't want to come us in that. Okay, they listen. That's. Everybody got that. But I can say that on our team, they were very intentional, like, this didn't work last year. Maybe we should do it like this. We debriefed every day, it's been the same for that. They wanted to live, what they encountered. So for you, I received that wholeheartedly, but yeah, I'm the face and I'm a little angry. But I also wanted to highlight this teacher. To the third, which goes. He was always right next to me, which is fabulous. But when I said, like, I know, she was so sweet, but she was like, ran on, right? So, again, I appreciate your work because it really did. Forget what that means, kind of make me that mission. Thank you.
Thanks, Corinne. So I actually leave this up there, not because of the pictures, although I can smile on pictures, I was not surprised.
And I'm wishing to see.
I had, yeah, they don't let me see them because they know I'll say don't put them up here, so they like sneak them in. But what I want to say is, you see this, you heard charade, you said it was the best that you've ever done. Would you like it to happen again? Yes. Then you need to do what I was talking about earlier, because within the notice of proposed rulemaking is professional development and training status. So if I can't get you on one, I can get you on another, and we want these things to happen. You have got to do what? You gotta be local and talk about the importance of these things for you and your team. Okay, if you don't, then what I have to do is look back at all of my vendor contracts and determine whether or not it's something we want to carry forward. That's not what we want to do in order, and I just think, can't tell you what to do, can't tell you how to see it. I just need you to be aware that these impacts could be real. I told the sick is gonna be here before you know it, and I'm gonna be missing. Do what you need to do. Okay? Again, the things that we do, we know why we do what we do, because again, we want to make sure two things happen. Number one, we give you an opportunity to go to trainings that are going to give you information, view your staff, et cetera, that's going to be useful. But also at the end of the day, what if you had to do your own pre-service every year? Is that a cost to you? Yes. By coming here, who eats the cost? And if you want us to continue to do that, I need you to think about your response or lack of understanding what has happened. The credentials were mentioned before, we'll mention credentials again. in order for us to do this, we need to be thinking about, are those things of value to you? Are those the kind of people you want to hire and maintain your organizations? You need to be thinking about that. I mean, today is real. What could happen after October 6th could be very real. And all we want you to do is make sure that when we are with you in October, November, that we're not talking about this alternative. We'd like not to come back and say, by the way, there wasn't enough comment. As a result of that, we are now going to live in this 10-page document. And all of these things now are no longer required. And in order to pass our grant, we have to do some work. So in order to help me, these are the things I think could help me with. Sharea's asked us some stuff, I'm gonna repeat, but she's asked for, and I'm gonna be repeating and repeating. Your data is what we're able to get into the federal government. If I don't have it, then I can't report it. If, for example, we don't meet the 45 days for the other person of our children, it looks like it wasn't necessary, right? Let's not send that kind of message. And that's what we be doing. If we're not getting it, and I did say when I said, I'm saying to you 30 days. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. You have a bill this year on the 30th day. And you get busy, and you're running, and you're doing everything, and you pay it on what day? 31st, 32nd, 33rd day, right? We can't pay our bills late. Not this time. We have got to be in the system, looking at this and making sure that we're accommodating by October 6th. Once that closes, whatever comes in and however it looks across the nation, that's how they're going to act on it. Okay? And let's not be sitting here going, okay, let's now think about what we will and will not do going forward on the federal side. And then how that impacts also the state side. As the money comes in, and then we put the two together to try to give you as much as we can to go to the equivalent funding so that you can do the things you need to do. Time is everything. Okay? When it comes to making sure children's health screenings are done, right? How many of you down to the fact that your young children are very having to push in the class? Not necessarily anymore. It's been over. Just had somebody who came in and talked to you about working good, you and doing all those kinds of things, so people are not even. Change is a fabric of who we are and what we do. I just don't want that to happen. I'm asking you. To be mindful of that, everything you can't have the words for don't take that picture. And because I'm pointing at it, that's not still, this probably on because I won't be on the picture. As if I can't hear hearing on it. But again, let's work together on this. Let's work together going forward. That's not anything for a moment that it isn't. It is real. We all celebrated when federal hits our wasn't lined out the budget as was proposed, right? And so is this a bad thing way to do that? Absolutely. Because if we water it down and then we come back and we monitor and we talk about how children aren't getting any better over time, we're saying, what about the start? Now I can go back and there's nobody's gonna argue and say that we should not be good because now we have data to see it. So this I give them that because people need to keep moving forward successfully for little children and so. That's on the fiscal side. Spending your money. Spending your money. If you don't spend it, what do you think we end up doing with it? Do what? Right, so this is how it works with the federal government for office of Pittsburgh. It used to be different, but now what they do is this. If, for example, we understand by $4 million, we apply, they say, okay, you're awarded for the next year. They take off this top $4 million because we left it on the table. And then they may give us the $10 million that was due to us. So we have $14 million, so we're good, right? No. Because you're looking off the old one. And then if you want to come back, which you can with the federal government, if you spend all your money, you can come back next for a supplement. And say that wasn't enough. We need X to do what we need to do. But by them doing that, they now say to us, if we go back for a supplement, oh, because you left $4 million. So we say, well, why are you coming and asking me? You should spend your $4 million
on those types of things, and then we would be talking about this, right? And I understand that, yes. It's no joke, people. And so when the team is working with you, and I'm not gonna say, for example, in early history child care partnership, that we've got a mechanism to make sure every one of those dollars go out, because we don't have every child, every, that's a given. But when we're looking at it on the other side, we shouldn't be turning money back. And if we are, do you think they don't know that? Do you think that's not gonna be a part of how they're looking at all of this going forward? And so all I'm asking us to do is teamwork together to make sure that we show value of everything that you do, value of everything that the team is doing, but for you, value of what those vendors are doing, but then for you, so that when we have to sit in front of them, if we're appealing their decision, we can sit there with information and data that say, but it's, I don't know. We're doing these great things on behalf of our children and families, and we're not that is what I'm looking for. And so we are going to be constantly looking at what we need, and we will be coming to you and asking you for building our stories. Because we are going to have to tell our story in Chicago, and you need to be able to. Raise your hand if you're on board with it. And if you're not, you're going to come here. Because that means we're going to. So let's just work together. I mean, we can do this. We've had things started on California City of Chicago. Anybody? How many years? I think. Well, that's like I said, she's 65 years old, and we've had it since we were one of the first that we funded, and so we've shown ourselves and shown up for a couple of years to be able to not only have this brand, but manage this brand and serve children and families in Chicago. We don't believe it. Okay? How can we hold you? Anybody? Need anything from us? Anybody?
I need my money. Okay. State budget, I need you to email me your federal and state budget. I know it's not due yet, and I know I can't push out a contract and find it. Let me see it and review it, so then I can say what's missing, or what other documentation may be needed. Let the focus be on DFSS, not on your agency for why you didn't get a budget. Because it's something. Big way to go over it.
Yeah, any questions about what I do with that thing for?
Yeah. I don't see you see.
I sent over a few and there was a couple updated ones I can resend. You want those as well?
Please give me a letter review because one of this time, what we want to do is make sure everything activates as quickly as possible. What we don't want to do is have been waiting to get this, and then there's a glitch or something in your document that they now have to send it back, because every time they get it, it's 4 weeks on the other side, so we're trying not to do that. And so we're with the team to make sure we get it, we're missing. Email address, Angel, ANGEL, .Jones, Dotson, DOTSON, at cityofchicago.org. You look at that, thank you, sir. Anything else? Anything else on the agenda? Sure. Yes, I have a question. Let's take it. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Background checks. I know I'm so different.
That finance one.
All right, so.
Finance.
Finance, okay, so. That mentions, or should I? Okay, that mentions. All right. So we are working and have been meeting with contracts, finance, and we did that on the phone back there. So we are working through a couple of last things that we need to do with them, so that we can stand them back up as your background checks. I don't have a date, the date I for things being accurate, And so we're trying to do exactly what they need. But we are working with our systems to be able to reactivate. And so we'll be. As soon as we know when we think we're gonna have a date, each grant is will be paid from all of you. Let it come.
Everybody cross their fingers and they toes.
Cross fingers, no. Rand, yes. So we're trying. Yes.
We did that line, everybody, that was gonna be a rush.
And they talked about that yesterday on the phone, was like, okay, that was happening. And so one of the things that they wanted about to be on, starting to finish, was doing some sites. Where people can go to site where they can be alternatives. But we're gonna work with them to try and get people through, and exactly what would happen if you just see how, that's gonna be a problem for them. And so we don't want to do that, we want to be respectful, so they will work with me to develop sites where people will be told, these are the places you can go, that the staff select and ready to go ahead and do that.
Backlog on the opposite end, okay, now you've got this significant amount of processing we have to do, so it's been a very long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's their concern, that's why I'm talking about doing it this way, because we are standing on this like they. That's what it is with others. So, they're not trying to do all of these all the same. Because they all have to go into state producers, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we're being said. As it is. What will the system look like? Considering where we are. If.
Yeah.
And see. Is getting things. Okay. So, any other questions about that? We're almost there. Again, you're getting an email letting you know, we will be working with them as soon as we know, getting sites set up. Mobile van, wherever they can do it, so we get everybody in and get it done. Any other questions about that? So the other thing that I was is. What are they looking at? If people were looking at me, they said. We have the contract with the center of the. We're going to process, I was sitting there, the invoice, I, okay, big plus 30 days, right? Invoice. I see an invoice, it's brilliant. I was sitting there, and putting the email, for some reason, I'm thinking this today, it's an invoice. You know, I was on the phone with the team, it's like, you know. And now I see the invoice, it's real. So, there will be work on her end, and then there will be work on her end, as we move through this process. We do have a team of staff that's gonna be going to one of their trainings at the end of next month, to learn this system. So that we can have some in-house TNCA, et cetera, et cetera. But we are moving forward with a. She's so very, that's worse than the. But I think we have to work with it because we do have 200 people. Child, just like it's, just like Oklahoma, but it's still federal. And so we're working with them because we have 200 people, our team will be working with them. To get everything still, to get classmates and all of what we need. But again, this is the start of it, not the finish of it. I mean, everybody can understand that. Purchasing it and then navigating the statistics, work themselves. But we're there, but now we need to start the process of actually getting it, training on it, and training all of you, training CFC staff, et cetera, et cetera. So know that there's time to get to a point where you can share if they review station plans. Right now, we're saying we are contract. When we play the talking about review station. Take a minute. She should have done that. All right. And we don't do them. It's what we will be doing, is if you want to, just the other one, get things to actually work with us and make sure that things are working with the needs to. And if we really come to the agency with saying, you're gonna be our purpose employee in this. Yes, we need to work that. All right, so next month, be able to say something good and they all good and think of themselves. But I'm happy, for all of you, definitely happy for my team. Because at some point, we will move the way we switch. But that's the goal, but again, we're starting, now the fitness one, bear with us. We'll be something that's better for you, and I think it's told you, not this, and it will be, because the one we need to grow with them on as far as both families. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay. Next.
Brian, put them up there for you. It's so wonderful. It's lovely. You don't like the picture. So, funding this ending in December of 2026. How many months are left? 4 months. 40%. 4 months, 40% for Head Start, 40% for EAS. 50% for expansion, even though it goes longer. But as I said, I'll leave money on the table. Okay. This ends December 26th. We want to make sure we've extended as much as we possibly can for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't know if you have money to use it, but 2, EHS and Head Start, early Head Start, and early Head Start, have to be one. Recompete. If I go to recompete, do not think that they're going to take into consideration our expenditures. Like I said, if you have the investment and you didn't spend 4 million of it, I didn't give you 4 million new. I just gave you the other money to make it up. But I also had to my system that you left 4 million on the table. So if I'm coming back to negotiate, do you think that's not going to be a part of the discussion? Do you think I'm in the next discussion? It's going to be hard. Okay. Go back to your people and make sure that you're enforcing. If you're not enforcing, and you need to do something with your budget, maybe to go back to your business. If there's still opportunity for external start CTE budget revisions. Somebody in front said, yes. Somebody said louder. Please don't leave it on the table. And then we have to be doing application on your behalf. Especially now. Okay, but that's all I'm going to give up. There. For being first. We try to tell them, they see every time. I'm working, actually, with the Atlanta people, with Brian and Coach, so we can get you the budget, so you can anyway. So not tomorrow. I'm going to be very good. And we're going to be talking about it in a different way. And it's from 19 November. Something where you guys can get united and we're going to talk about what so first of all, I'm going to go back to what I really said. I want to thank you all and I'm just in here. Right. Thanks so much. And so after the supervisor already understanding that the invoice, I'm going to go and people tell me to spend my money. Okay,
But we had it for not in for school divorce. Sit down and say, if I can't read this rate this money, she said, I need to spend $3 million. Okay? If you guys not on that, over the straight $5 million, because it always, but on the table. This is not the year to leave money on the table. On any budget. How many of you know we went from a $1 billion grant to a $45 million grant on ECBG? Do you think of the expense for the department? Do you think of leaving money on the table wasn't a part of that decision? It was the decision maker. It was the decision making factor that allowed this to happen. I'm happy all of you are still in the room with us. But there's a different decision could be made. But the decision was to break the ground across the cities. We're hoping that they spend it. But I'm asking that you spend it. And if you need help, and your team are ready to work with you, but don't just leave it off the table. Don't leave money unexpended. Let's say that. Don't leave money unexpended. Okay? Don't show your hand. This is not the time. Let's work together. I'm going to the next one. Right here. I'm sorry, what do you want to say? She was gonna bust you out. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My question was more about the contract.
Yes.
You don't, I mean, those numbers are working to be competing because you don't have, but the head start and early head start.
Right. And it is misleading, but let me understand why you see those numbers are making. Remember, we were going through the process that we were supposed to be competing, and they gave us a new rate receipt, and they extended, and it started, we get started. That's why the numbers look that way, I get that. But my job is to feel saying is very money. Like I keep on saying, I send the email, and we do things, and I can all spend my money. I can always spend my money, thank you. I can always make spend my money, let me know why you have it. Okay? That's in my money to something else. Hey, we certainly got license. Make the best feel like I'm in, but let's not do that. Let's not, you keep money. Or you wouldn't even, anybody. You would guess anything. You have children in this hurting. And buildings that come up right now. From what I understand, you need the money. Then ECBG 93% in June, ended June 26. Ended June 26. And we left what? Money on the page. Now I know there's minor invoices and things that they're trying to rectify these people out them, but then 96% is people where we are. And then CPAP, that ended June 26. That's due to having only so many people on their CPAP grant. There is still money on our CPAP grant for other people who want to do their CPAP for the FFS. Because we're sending money back to CPAP, not because people have it on their spending, because we don't have enough agency to spend all of our money. But anyone else want to see that from the FFS, we're here. And we have money. We don't want you. You see how it was. And you know, those people were working with us, we have people that really frustrated because of the care system. We're moving to the states and forward. Together. Is that any place anybody I'm going to do that here? Because we don't want to make money. But there is still money available. If you're looking for it, we know where you're not moving to activities for Shower Plus. They're moving over to the states, so that everything will be generated from there. Same team, but using it. Any questions about that? Yes, one minute, please.
I am not familiar with how we build child care. I just know that it's, my understanding is it's been highly manned. It's like the care piece. Do we expect any of that to go away? It's
They're all the way to suspend. It's
Yes. Well, the CCAT team and DFSS are being trained and working through all of that so that they can generate the monthly roll report and do all of those things. And that's the computer that's that the state uses. So they are doing that training and cleaning it up for years.
Is that, I,
It's saying that. Items. But if you move away because of our technology issues and whatever, there's an option. The switch there is to get on to the process and we can sit down and let you know, I'll go there, ready to put on the best of our abilities. Having a vision for us, we needed to, well, we tried to build it out in our years. We were finally standing up on the front end and we didn't. And what that meant was everybody had to go back to the manual together. Because we didn't have face the which is very difficult to do. And so the decision was made that system stayed and why not. And so they got the individual sponsors and worked with our team that did assess. Help them be able to understand the system, what it means to move it, et cetera, et cetera. And so you're going to be as well we should. And so again, we have something to do.
President.
Because I need to get my people that become because. I'm not always saying, you know, just not sure if someone else can, looking at that, you need to have any other agency that would use that, but we still got something that's in it, that all of them get on the base. We only have to do this last, we have seven application process of that. I'm not under each of my gadgets, we still the application. Okay. I'm done. So my plan. Read the slide. I'm gonna do it. Thank you. Your voucher due dates are in there. Tells you the COLA, the CCAP, the CCD, and Head Start. It summarizes some stuff. It's let me know when you're ready. We can go to the next slide. Yeah, yeah, it's always on. I said, anybody got any what's on the slide? Are we ready to move to the next slide? Yes. Expenditure refinance, again, I'm about to close out, work letters. I'm from PIK. Anything, please. Yes.
Quick question on this one with the award budgets. Are we talking about there's these two separate budgets for the four, but the PFA and PI and four?
Yes.
Is it gonna have the same PO number? So when I do a budget for
Any of them, I believe it's going to be separate deal in here. For where we separate and do a corporate. And ECBG are, is a ECBG going to be on the same PO number? Or a new PO number for that one? Do you know? And we'll get back to you on that. Yes, ma'am.
One is national program running separate and separate POs, or are you guys combining them this year? We're not combining POs, we're gonna POs over the finance. If it was ever before, then good, absolutely. Any other questions?
Basically, is CPPC, we expect to see representation there. We expect to see your loving faces there.
We would like to see your parents there. Go ahead and do this. Support your parents, yes, but we need your parents. We have, and the thing that, again, is like on your side, for your on the board that you can't pass, if you don't have quorum, then it happens, if you already have the meeting. It doesn't really here for this. Any other questions or comments before we go to the clerk? Anyone? Thanks. Again, I am the buyer of these, which I'm going to call the own procedure. And then the names of individual based upon your contracts, individuals that you can have to get budgets and meetings. Any questions on that slide, anyone? Thank you, please, go ahead. Listen,
Thank you for pointing out to me. My question is, and I don't know if this is the right time we can answer it, but for Nicola, is there any other way we can reach the besides email?
boy, I feel on it. No. I apologize. But that's the very said by authority, still having. If you have issues getting through, send an email, send an email on it. And then what I then do for following up and saying this is a consistent issue, what can we do? So if you have any issues, then we will stand in the way of you. Then generate a contract. Don't just keep going around and around. Include me in the email, because I can send it up and go up. Okay. You're welcome. Yes.
Updated. And I'm also updated.
You updated it instead of your insurance agent, they wanted the insurance agent on with that with you guys. Okay. Okay. And so send me an email with that, and let's answer the question of what is the reason that you got the number. Okay, there's no contact with anybody from the and so it's not really correct. And
Something. But start showing days on there as well, because normally they have an inside person. Yeah, I don't know what she's gonna do with that, but she's playing with her, they deal with that, so I don't think for her. So it's everyone to see.
and 16.
Yeah.
If it has any position, get it through a certificate of insurance. Without it, they will not generate contract. Any other question? Thanks. Questions? I know you.
That question, just like don't hit, I see a lot.
Okay. I don't forget, everybody listen.
And then some before you all switch to, yeah, they were careful then. So, but when they send it back, there is, you have to scroll all the way down and there's specific language that they want on there. You have to take that exact language and tell your insurance company puts that exact language on there, which is different from like your normal language. They want, it's specific to City of Chicago language that they want on there. And even as vendor and agent, you still need that language on there, but it's like kind of all the way at the bottom. And if you do that and go back and upload it again, it'll correct it again.
Thank you. Again. So again, go to your, go all the way to this. They're saying we need to update something. Scroll all the way down. And there is language that they're saying you don't have in your document. Speaking exactly what it says, in the city language that they need. Then once you have that, add it into your document, upload it again, and it should be. As it should be approved. Okay? But thank you for sharing that. Because if this worked for you, thanks for sharing, it might benefit this club. Any other questions or any other helpful hints? Anyone?
That they sure that their views out there this next meeting, we have something important for them to do.
This is not really on the company.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to submit our EHS extension application, and the parents have to approve. Our board, our CCO has to, and our parents have to approve. If I can't get an approval, I can't submit on September 1. If I pass September 1, for instance, they're not even giving us grace period. So I need an approval, there will be 4 agencies, so we should be able to get it through. Don't miss the day. Ada S. McKinnon. YMCA. Chicago News Centers. Elder Clune. Make sure that we get what we need so we can submit your grant application by the way, you're trying to Friday next week, so that we're not worried about that. Right? Any questions on that? Yes.
Right?
If you did. Okay. If you did. So did.
All four.
So we got the board policy.
See that?
See, so hesitate, but you did. Okay. Some did.
Everyone's packages.
And have a review. Everyone who's on the sanction, you're going to have, and you just have been received. They're under review. By close of business tomorrow. You will receive email notification from let you know if any additional information is needed. They're currently under review right now. So far, so good. But we're trying our best to have everything reviewed, so that's the A's and C's. All review by tomorrow, which was the business where we will need you to complete some of your early next week so that we can begin submitting the application into the system. We thank you. Her next career is I'm so like you ain't going nowhere anyway. So one person mentioned the September 8th start date over here, and I just want to remind that all of you pick this up. That the language that's in there is about all the grants. We say 9/8/26. That's the start date Tuesday for federal. And what we're asking you to do is keep in mind that this start date is only for the new federal funded children. Children who have been enrolled for multiple years in the same program type should be added to their original enrollment date as a part of kindergarten, kickstart, EHS, and the selection. Okay. Any other questions? Any updates from any of you? Anything I'm so heard from anybody else? Anything that may be missed? Anything? Okay, well, thank you, and thank you again for being with us. Was that okay? Okay, that's fine.
I think it's the same enrollment page, but I was just asking if they go from early Head Start coming up to Head Start, are they getting the new enrollment date for Head Start, or keeping the same early Head Start date?
Because you have to do it, who the vote, you like to get early next time. And enrollment, they start, and we are getting the date. It's start. Okay.
Yeah.
They're, they don't transition from one to the other, and we. All right, thanks everyone, have a great week, be safe.